Okay, imagine this. You're way up high, maybe the 20th floor. Suddenly, the elevator gives a hard jolt. The lights flicker off and then nothing. Just that stomach in your throat feeling of free fall. Your mind is just racing.
So what do? I mean, what's the actual move here? Do you try to jump right at the last second? Do you lie flat on the floor? Or do you just brace yourself and hope for the absolute best? These are the kinds of split-second decisions we've all kind of wondered about, right?
All right, let's really dive into this. The whole falling elevator scenario, it's got to be one of the scariest and most common what-if survival questions out there. It is literally the stuff of nightmares and, of course, a ton of action movies. But today, we're going to separate that Hollywood fantasy from the cold, hard facts of physics.
First things first, let's tackle the biggest myth of them all. This is the one that almost everybody thinks is the right move. This idea that you can somehow save yourself by jumping at the absolute perfect moment.
You know, the logic, it seems kind of sound, doesn't it? If the elevator is plummeting down and you jump up, you figure you're canceling out some of that downward speed. It's a classic movie trope, right? The hero pulls off this perfectly timed leap and just walks away without a scratch. But, well, in the real world, physics has a little something to say about that plan.
So, let's put this popular myth to the test. When you actually pit the hard science of gravity and momentum against a Hollywood stunt, well, who wins? Let's break it down. Okay, this slide really shows you the massive difference in speed, and it's pretty much exactly why that whole jump myth completely fails. An elevator falling from even a medium-sized building can easily hit 60 miles per hour, maybe even more. A human being, I'm talking even a world-class athlete, can maybe jump upwards at around 5 miles per hour. So if you do manage to jump, you're not canceling out the fall. You're just changing your impact speed from, say, 60 miles per hour down to 55. And trust me, that's still a devastating, totally unsurvivable impact. Yeah, trying to jump is kind of like trying to stop a speeding bullet with a piece of cardboard. The physics just do not add up. Your jump simply doesn't have nearly enough force to counteract the tremendous energy of that fall. So, let's be super clear. Do not jump. It's a bad idea.
All right, so if jumping is completely out, what should you do? Let's move on to what the experts actually recommend. The actions that could genuinely increase your chances of making it through what is, let's be honest, an incredibly rare event.
Okay, let's quickly rule out two other really common instincts. Standing up, probably the worst thing you can do. At impact, a force that's many times your body weight is going to shoot right up through your legs and spine. Not good. Now, lying completely flat, that seems better, right? It spreads the impact. But the problem here is deceleration. Your body stops instantly, but your internal organs, they keep moving, slamming right into your skeleton. Both of these are extremely dangerous options.
So what is the optimal position? Well, experts pretty much all agree on this simple 3-step procedure. First, get on the floor and lie flat on your back. Second, use your arms to cover your head and your face. And third, bend your knees just slightly. Now, this is not a guarantee by any means, but it is your best shot.
And here's why this position is your best defense. Lying down distributes those G-forces across the biggest possible surface area of your body. Covering your head, well, that provides a crucial shield for your brain from any falling debris. And bending your knees, that lets your legs act as a kind of natural crumple zone, potentially absorbing some of that initial impact instead of sending it all directly to your hips and your spine.
Now, you might be thinking, has anyone actually survived something like this? And the answer, incredibly, is yes. Let me tell you the absolutely amazing true story of a woman named Betty Lou Oliver.
So back in 1945, a B-25 bomber accidentally crashed into the Empire State Building. An elevator operator, Betty Lou Oliver, was on the 80th floor. The impact severed the elevator cables and she plunged 75 stories. 75! And against every single odd, she survived.
So how on earth was this even possible? It was really a combination of some incredible, almost unbelievable circumstances. The thousands of feet of severed cables had piled up at the bottom of the shaft, which created this sort of makeshift, springy cushion. On top of that, the super-fast fall compressed all the air in the narrow shaft below the car, creating a pneumatic buffer that slowed it down just a bit right before impact.
So let's wrap this whole thing up by putting it all into perspective. We've separated the facts from the fear using a little bit of physics, and we've learned that while the odds are definitely long, they are not zero.
So, the most crucial point, the main takeaway, is this. If the unthinkable happens, forget all those movie myths. Don't jump, don't stand, and don't try to hold on to the rails. The best thing you can possibly do is get on your back, cover your head, and bend your knees.
Now, after all that, it is really important to remember the actual risk here. I mean, while it's a terrifying thought, elevators are incredibly safe. Seriously. With multiple cables, automatic brakes, and buffers in the shaft, a true freefall is almost unheard of. You are vastly more likely to be in a fatal car accident than an elevator accident.
So now, you're pretty much prepared for one of the rarest disasters imaginable. But it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? You know how to survive the fall, but what's the scariest place you've ever actually been stuck? Let us know in the comments. Stay safe, and as always, stay curious.